Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my view from the 40. Well, the very first home preseason Red Blacks game, it's a mouthful, is in the books. For the first time, the Red Blacks played a preseason game at TD Place. And wouldn't you know, they pulled off the victory. Now, I'm not going to go back on what I said before. This game didn't matter, so I'm not going to start doing cartwheels and start doing backflips because they won. But I'm certainly happy that they did. And it was a pretty interesting game. And I mean, it's what you would expect from a preseason game. It gives, again, the coaches, the general managers, the opportunity to test out lots of different players that they might not usually have tried out during the regular season, just to see how they would do. So, for example, each team fielded 4 quarterbacks and gave us the opportunity of seeing how those quarterbacks would do. I'll be the first to say I was a little surprised at how long Henry Burris was in the game. We saw him in the game in the second half. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This is precious cargo. I was hoping to see the reigning, defending, most outstanding player perhaps on the bench, maybe playing Sudoku. But if not playing Sudoku, with a clipboard in his hand, giving some advice to the youngsters. But no, Henry Burris was back in there throwing bombs and doing what he could to help the team win. Now, it was pretty interesting because in the first half, Ottawa came out and scored 17 points. In the second half, they only scored 1. But they still held on to get the 18-14 victory. It was great being back at TD Place to see football. It was great seeing so many of the other season ticket holders that have come to, know and appreciate over the last few years. The environment was great. It was nice seeing Sarah Freemark coming out and being the new on-field host. Although that last game didn't really seem to go correctly, because when you're doing the whole spinning around the bat, your head has to be down on the bat so you get the full dizzy experience, and that Southsider cheated. I'm not bitter. I'm just saying Northside could have won that. But it was great to be there, and the atmosphere was fun. As much as we were excited to see the game, in the back of our mind, we kept thinking to ourselves, but it's preseason, so it doesn't matter. But there were a couple of interesting calls and a couple of interesting plays. So every time something wouldn't work out well for the Red Blacks, so whether it be an incomplete pass or whether it be penalty upon penalty, I would just say, well, you know what? They're working out the kinks. Because they are. And then there were a couple of calls that the referees got that I didn't necessarily think were correct. And again, I would say, oh, it's okay. They're just working out the kinks. This is going to be an exciting season. One thing I'll tell you, as the game was coming to an end, and as it looked for a moment that Winnipeg might be able to eke out a victory, then it hit me. We're in TD Place, and Ottawa shouldn't be losing here. Because after last season, we've got that winning mentality. And the team played with a certain level of swagger and a certain level of confidence. And that carried them through. So yes, I'm not going to go back. It's a preseason game. But it was still seeing them executing. It was still great seeing them executing their plays. One particular play that I really love, Chris Williams caught the ball probably about 5 yards, 3 to 5 yards short of the first down, deked out his defender and just ran for it. Because you know what? It might be preseason, but he's still playing as if it's a game with significance. So hats off to him, and hats off to both teams for coming out and putting on a good show and entertaining us. For a preseason game, it certainly didn't lack interest. And I guess after all that, I can understand why Henry Burris wasn't playing Sudoku and why he wanted to be right in there. But Henry, next game coming up, only a few series. You don't have to play the full game. You don't have to play the majority of the game. You're going to be the starter. Don't get injured. Don't get hurt. It was also great seeing the Red Blacks cheer and dance team take the field. A lot of these young men and women are new to the team, so this is their first experience being on a CFL field, especially being in front of thousands of people. I don't know what the attendance count was. I know it wasn't a sellout, but it was a very good crowd. So great seeing them out. And this is a group that got together, I believe, something like 9 or 10 this morning, had all day activities, and still came out and delivered great performances on the field. My only wish is that I wish other fans could see all of the hard work that they put into their craft off of the field, like the different practices and such, because they are such a hard-working group of men and women that this community should be nothing but proud of. So anytime you have an opportunity to support them, make sure that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, football is back. It is June. It was a chilly June, but it was good. It looked like it was going to rain. Didn't rain, but whatever. We're tough. We can handle it. It was an entertaining game. And you know what? The next game is going to be against the Calgary Stampeders on July the 8th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for that, make sure that you do. And if you're not in Ottawa and you don't have the wonderful opportunity of seeing the Red Blacks live, Friday Night Football, you're going to want to make sure that you tune into that because it's going to be a fantastic game. It'll be the Red Blacks' third game of the season, starting on the road. So I'm looking forward to it. I will be back to preview the next preseason game, as I will be talking about all of the games this year. And again, any questions, comments, suggestions, whatever you got, throw it my way. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking this out. Best of luck to all the teams this season. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. The road to Toronto and to BMO Field and to the Grey Cup has officially begun. So I hope you guys are excited with me because it's going to be a great season. As always, my name is Keith, and that's my view from the 40.